Welcome to Sensible Secondhand Reviews, the series where we look at practical and sensible cars which you can buy for a budget of between £1,000 and £5,000. This is a 2015 Vauxhall Mokka 1.4 tech line. But is it any good? Should you care? Let's find out, shall we? So we're no strangers to the Mokka on this channel. In 2022 I drove a 2013 Mokka 1.4 exclusive turbo 4x4, and in 2023 I drove I think it was a 2018 Mokka X, again with the 1.4 turbo engine, in quite a high specification as far as I remember. I think it was an Elite or something like that. And then I have driven the current generation Mokka as well. It was a 2021 model that I drove at some point last year. I don't really like those very much, unfortunately, viewers. I prefer this generation of Mokka. The engines available in this first generation Mokka will differentiate this from the Mokka X, because obviously I've done a full review on the Mokka X. We won't really talk about that very much, but with this pre-facelift model, there were two petrol engines. You could get a 1.6 Family 1 engine with 113 horsepower and no turbo, or you could get this 1.4 Family 0 turbo engine, 138 horsepower. There are also some diesels available, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. So on this 1.4, you could get four-wheel drive at the start and a manual gearbox only. Later on, like this car, you could get front-wheel drive and an automatic gearbox. I don't think the automatic gearbox was available, though, on the 4x4 models. This does that 0 to 60 in 9 seconds, actually, with this 6-speed manual, so it's quite nippy. And in this tech line trim, it's pretty good. There weren't actually that many trim levels available for the pre-facelift Mokkas. The main ones were S, SE, exclusive with 1E for some reason, tech line, and a limited edition. So unlike Vauxhalls of the 2010s on the whole, which had, something like 13 trim levels for each car, these didn't have that many. For some reason, with the Mokka X, they changed all the trim levels and introduced a new engine, but we don't need to rediscuss that. The steering is very light in this. It's an electric system, like it would have been in the Corsa at the time, although this is quite interesting. It's not based on the same platform as a Corsa D or a Corsa E. It's based on the final generation Chevrolet Aveo, sometimes they have the Sonic in some markets. And actually, there was a Chevrolet version of this car sold in this country as a Chevy Trax between 2013 and 2015. They're very, very rare, but they're just one of these. They've got a slightly different dashboard in them. But there's no reason not to recommend one of those. I think they're probably cheaper because nobody really remembers that Chevy even sold cars over here these days, do they? Unless you're a very strange person like me, in which case you had two Chevy Cruisers. Take a look at this Mokka then, viewers. So if it's a 10-year-old car, it does look quite good for its age. It's done about 75,000 miles, this car. It's in the tech line trim, this particular variant of tech line nav. It just says turbo on the back rather than 1.4 turbo. It does look pretty good with this sort of chunky styling. You could get a 4x4 version. In fact, the one I drove in 2022 was a 4x4 version. But most people just choose the standard two-wheel drive version. You could also get an automatic. This one is a 6-speed manual. So we'll take a look at the boot first. It's about 356 litres in here. So a lot bigger than something like a Corsa. Not the biggest in class though. You'd be looking at something like, I don't know, a couple of years later, you'd be looking at something like an MGZS of 440 litres, I think it was. But it's okay. We've even got a spare wheel down there, which is fantastic. I would definitely be having one of these with a spare wheel. Got little compartments on either side to store things in, and some shopping bag hooks. Should leave that, don't want to break any plastic in here, viewers. And then a little handhold to closing the tailgate, and a very small rear wiper. To get in the back, from memory, these actually have quite a lot of space in the back. It's one of the main reasons why you might choose one of these, actually. And I was right. Huge amounts of space. The only thing I'd say against this car, and it's the same on an Astra J, which looks similar in the interior to one of these, is that the door cards are huge and sort of unrelenting black, and they're not the most inviting plastic, although they do have some nice fabric on here, and the actual door handles feel good. So yeah, really easy to get in and out. If you've got people who have any sort of mobility problems, this might be a good choice. In fact, I think lots of these were sold on Motability back in the day. One unique thing to this car, as opposed to anything else I've seen, is a 3-pin plug in there. Isn't that great? I think I've noticed, it's a little bit mean. We've only got one map pocket. We haven't got two, which is a bit of a shame. And also, we've got an alarm rest, but only for the driver, not the passenger. We do have quite big door bins, though. I don't know what this is for. We've got 2 door bins on the door. I prefer, personally, the interior of the 2013 car I drove in 2022 that had a lovely kind of dark blue and sort of Mokka coloured interior. You know, get the pun. This is a lot more sort of basic and rationalised, which is absolutely fine. It's not a problem or anything. It's just I preferred that. I think that did have actually a mat pocket on the back. It was in the exclusive trim without the second E. So we've got better than MG's ZS. We've actually got a rear courtesy light for the passengers. Haven't got an armrest in the middle, but that's not necessarily standard on a lot of cars like this. Yeah, it's actually worn the miles, really, considering it's done 75,000 miles. Quite well, really. Okay, let's get in the front. So, same old door handles as an Astra H, I think, or an Astra J, and all sorts of other things. And the same steering column as an Astra J or a Chevy Cruze, or actually a Camaro's got the same as this, but the instruments are very similar to a Cruze or an Astra J as well. So again, really easy to get in and out. First glance at this, it looks like an intimidating mess of buttons, but it's really not. I mean, considering what came on, well, the next Mokka that I have actually driven, a 2021 Mokka, it's not that bad actually. Once you work out what these do, you only need to use a couple of the buttons really. This is for controlling the sat-nav and things like that, and that's for sort of joystick as well. You can change what you want on the screen. There's a home screen, source, nav, the destination. These are for controlling the CD player, and you've got an aux in and things like that. The aux in's actually down here. If I can pull this out, there we go. Aux in and USB is down here. Got the camera in there, and then the 12-volt socket is in there as well. This car doesn't have hill descent control, but some of them have. It would be actually on this button as well. It would be the other side of here. It would be 2 buttons. Got parking sensors for some reason, and I've asked Dan about this, who owns this car. This is quite common. The silver wears off on this centre console area, which is a shame. Again, these General Motors stalks you've seen in loads of different cars. The dash looks so similar to a Chevy Cruze or an Astra J. It's really similar with the instrument, which is fine. It's not a problem. I quite like that. Same mirror switch and things like that. Sorry, same light switch as well in there. We've got auto lights in this car. We can put it in, turn the key, although we can't start it up pushing the clutch. You heard that bong before, I imagine, some of you. I'm going to have to shut that up by closing the door, aren't I? Okay, so the door is closed. You can see we've got colour screen in there, which for 2015 is a nice size. And once you've worked out how to use it, nav is just like this. Navigation initialising. Once it loads, we'll see exactly where we are on here. My gosh, that's taking a while. Anyway, let's have a look in here. Oh, there we go. So we can have a look to see we are in lovely Fareham today. We can also go into home screen and see what's going. That's now playing. This little joystick here will allow us to kind of move around if we want to. And then we can go to source. Various sources we can move around here. Actually use that button there. So what's the point of this little jog wheel thing here if you just do it by this, and then you can and then you can sort of press this in. So you press this part of it in, not this bit. That's for going around. I don't understand that. Viewers. You're better than that. So how would you do this? Would you then you want to sort of navigate something? You press this sort of in, and yeah. So you menu that one. I'm a bit confused about that, viewers. It's not the best system anyway. Let's have a look at this thing here as well. So you can have a look at the average miles per gallon. You can go up and down like this. Trip computers, and then you can select this tyre pressure monitoring. You can go up and down like this as well. Oil life, speed warning, units, and then go for eco mode. And just like on my old Chevy Cruze, you can see how good your driving is. That looks interesting. And then top consumers off, and that's eco and whatever it is. Yeah, I love playing around with that for some reason, dude. I'm a very strange person, so I like that kind of thing. I also like the fact we've got soft touch material on the dashboard and 2 glove boxes. Obviously the circuit motion document not going to go in there. So we'll try this one down here. No viewers, no use for spy work. Never mind, put it in there. We have got the kind of very strange sort of second door pockets just sort of here, which I don't necessarily think are. Shush. I don't necessarily think of that useful, because they might, stuff in there is going to fall out. Let's just pull back a bit there. Yeah, that one, the bottom is probably going to be better, isn't it? We've got power fob mirrors, which is good. Same switch again, there's a lot of General Motors stuff. And then the fuse, there's a fuse box cover, it's a storage area. Another storage area for, I don't know, coins for the car park or something. Yeah, I mean, it's quite nicely finished in here, really. It's a reasonably well put together interior. We've even got soft touch material on here. We've got this bit of silver plastic here. The door pull feels nice. You know, Vauxhall interiors really, they really aren't that bad. These cars get criticised quite a lot for certain things, but I don't think the interior quality should be one of them, really. The handbrake's a little bit strange. So the button's on top of here rather than being on the end, which does get particularly used to. Got a 6-speed manual. You could get automatic as well. Then there's a little storage compartment down there, and some cup holders, nice big ones as well. Excellent. Right, I think it's time for us to have a look under the bonnet. I must say, viewers, that's a very, very clean engine bay. So this is the General Motors Family Zero engine, which was originally introduced in 1996 in the facelifted Vauxhall Corsa B. In this particular variant, it's a turbocharged 1.4 that generates 138 horsepower. There was also another 1.4 turbo in the later Mokka X model, which is a variant of a small gasoline engine that GM call it, but this is the Family Zero. I've heard different things about his engine. Some people have said, and you know, some people with Vauxhall mechanics said, this engine's pretty good. There's not too many problems with them. Other people have said, just you know, keep 1,000 or so back, just in case you have any issues with these. Timing chains, oil consumption. I've kind of heard of that kind of thing, but you know, this one seems okay. It seems fine. Everything is present and correct in here. We've got this coolant reservoir, but it's also from a lot of Vauxhalls and Opels and Chevys of the era. Yeah, excellent. No timing belt to do in here, although that is something you need to be aware of in a 1.6 petrol engine that has a timing belt. But it only remains for us to go for another drive, viewers. So the handling of this car it's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's not terrible or anything. It's not the sportiest car, but then these cars never were designed to be particularly sporty. The most powerful engine you could get in either the Mokka or Mokka X was about 150 horsepower. Still, you know, 0 to 60 in 9 seconds is pretty good. This manual gearbox is pretty slick. Steering does weight up actually a little bit if you want to go around corners a bit faster, but it's not really designed for a sporty driver. It's designed to be comfortable and easy to use, and it is comfortable and it is easy to use. So, you know, those boxes are ticked. I'd say though a Suzuki Vitara does actually ride and handle a little bit better than this. But yeah, you know, these cars are very popular. There's plenty of choice on the used market for these. I would go maybe with this engine. Maybe the 1.6 non-turbo engine is slightly more reliable than this, but they're actually, I don't think they're as bad as a lot of people say that they are. I wouldn't mind actually running one of these for a bit myself. I think they're okay. Personally, I go for the Chevy versions because they're a bit more interesting than this, because there are a few of them. But apart from that, I think these are actually pretty good. I think they're okay. Let's look at some common issues with the Mokka. So apparently you can get stiff gear selection. This car's fine. Noisy rear brakes, again, this car's fine. The underbody, if you're going off-road, obviously there are 4x4 versions available, so just watch that. It can be a misfire on the 1.6, 1.4 engines. And also there are quite a few recalls on these for some reason. I don't quite know why. You could get lane keeping assist in the 4x4 version. I think the one I drove in 2020 had that actually. You could also get traffic sign recognition and lane keeping assist. This car's got a heated steering wheel actually, which is very nice. So viewers, should you consider a Vauxhall Mokka from 2016 or before for your hard-earned budget of between £1,000 and £5,000? I don't see why not if you can find a good one of these that's not got any problems with the engines or gearboxes or anything like that. The only issue is there's a lot of cars like this out there in the market, and so the Mokka's got very stiff competition. From 2015, you get a SsangYong Tivoli and a Suzuki Vitara. Ford would sell you like an EcoSport or something like that at the same time, although I'm not sure I'd prefer one of those over one of these. So it's quite a crowded marketplace, but actually this is a pretty decent car. You just got to watch certain sort of issues on these, but there aren't as many, I don't think, as the car's reputation suggests. The ones I've driven, and this is the third one I have, they all seemed okay, but you know, your mileage might vary, as they say. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Thank you to Dan for letting me have a go in his car. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again soon for some more reasonably priced motoring.